the most like sweetest way. I feel like
Yeah. I thought my art teacher was so cute.
We haven't used that.
It's like she would give you these candid compliments about your art. And just like, okay.
See, I'm not.
it's like the fiction shows when they're like stylish walk, like
Oh my god, for real. And they're like, what?
Audition.
I think you would do really good, but
It's not today. It's not your day. I should fish tail or
Oh, what? Really? Heard. Oh my goodness. Sorry.
It made me feel dancing.
He has it.
Oh, that's good. She's singing like a little bit louder.
Honestly. You seen that guy? You seen that guy on the interview? What do you think of? I don't know what he said. He goes,
yeah.
She said when we go back, not right now.
Walk in.
hey,
Hey,
walk in
guys,
for a
walk
tweak
in.
out.
Walk in.
Hard to work.
Oh,
Okay.
BG, right?
I can actually like say some of that. That much money.
It was, but it wouldn't go.
It was lit up and it's.
They think they got it.
They tried. They tried. Well, you tried again.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
The red one.
It's a great start, guys. Great.
Is the light not coming on?
Testing. It is, but it's
The light is on.
oh, here we go.
Good morning, everyone. I am honored and humbled to welcome you here this morning for our Veterans Day program. My name is Dr. Candace Bell, and I'm blessed to be the principal here at Walker Valley High School. As we get started, I wanted to make sure and thank Mrs. Leah Walker and Mrs. Valana White and their team for planning this celebration, as well as Mr. Evers and his AV team, so that this presentation can be live streamed into our classrooms today. Our goal is for this celebration to continue and grow each year because as educators, we believe it's important to teach our students that freedom isn't free and that we need to honor and give thanks for the sacrifices of our servicemen and women on Veterans Day and every day. Thank you so much for being here with us. At this time, we will ask everyone to stand and remove their hats as our Walker Valley Chambers Choir performs the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
That's on me.
We have a special presentation for you this morning from Sergeant Spots. So if you'll welcome her to the stage, please.
The first thing they asked me when they asked me to come was I going to need a podium? I'm a walker and a talker, let me tell you right now. My name is Vanessa Spots, and I spent 24 years in the military. 23 of those years were actually on active duty, and I did 1 year as a reservist. My daughter, Valana Spots, White, is actually a military brat. Can you tell? You know, when we talk about the cost of freedom, one of the things that I want people to understand, and we always say freedom isn't free. Someone has to be that person that makes a decision that they are going to do what they need to do to maintain freedom for all of us. And I tell people all the time, one of the things that I do know now, and I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, but it was divine intervention that prepared me to be in the military. I tell this story all the time because I was 14 years old when I decided to start running. Didn't have a clue that I would ever be in the military. I started running. I started doing push-ups and sit-ups. There was nobody in my generation that had been in the military. My father and all my uncles had been in World War II. But I didn't have a direct reference to what it was to be in the military. But God had prepared me to be able to do what I needed to do to serve this country. I know there's a lot of craziness going on, a lot of division going on right now, but one thing I'll tell you about what happened when I was on active duty, we were green. We were green and we bled red. So we worked together because when you're in a situation where you're fighting against the enemy, you cannot have the division that's happening now. So there was a whole different type of cohesiveness that happened when I was on active duty. I went to places as a single parent on active duty. I went to places where I had no other relative for hours away, but guess what happened? All those people that I worked with on a daily basis were there to support us, and we supported one another. That's the cost. That's the result of understanding what freedom really is, of being able to serve a country that makes you feel like there is a brotherhood or a sisterhood. So that was the cost. But you know what? The cost, they had to deal with a lot, but the results were so grand. Now I tell people all the time, I went to college before I went into service. I went back and got my master's degree. The military paid for all of my tuition. They paid all my loans back. They paid for me to get my master's degree. And they have provided me the opportunity to do things that I never thought I would be able to do. I have been able to travel in places I never thought I would be able to go. I have met people that I never thought I would have access to. So there are a lot of things that you have to consider. I know we live in Tennessee, and that is where our home is. But the reality of it is the entire United States of America is our home. And we have to have in our mentality, in our heart, in our spirit, that we are one, and we cannot be divided. That is what the military has done for me. That is what the military has done for my children. We are one. We must remain one. Because when you're, and I say foxhole because I know you guys may not get in the foxhole. I don't know your status. But when you're in a foxhole with somebody, it doesn't matter what the color of their skin is. Are they going to protect you when the enemy is on your trail? That's what this is all about. It's all about the camaraderie that you develop when you're on active duty, and that you are there to support not only you, but that person who is with you in that foxhole. Thank you.
so much for your service, Sergeant Spots, and for that wonderful message. We do have a few military highlights, branch highlights that we'd like to share with you this afternoon, or this morning. And we're going to start with our Marine representative, Sergeant Nicholas Camp.
I'm not used to using a microphone. Good morning, Walker Valley. How are we doing? My name is Staff Sergeant Camp. I'm your Marine Corps representative for the school. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Marine Corps and what we do. So the Marine Corps is United States 911 call. So we basically go in, kick over the anthill, and make it stable for other forces to move in and do the mission. So we're like an expeditionary fighting force, and we're just very different from the other branches. One being like every Marine is a rifleman. That's your first and foremost job that you're supposed to do, and then comes your secondary job. And then also it really separates us from the other branches is our intangibles. So I'm saying like the pride of belonging, the willingness to accept a challenge, our professionalism is very different. Anywhere else you go, like the workforce or other branches, you'll get money, you'll get experience, you'll get college offers, college benefits. So anywhere you go, you'll get that. But in the Marine Corps, you'll really get the intangibles, and that's what we're looking for. That's pretty much it.
That's good. Thank you.
We'd like to welcome to the stage next our Air Force representative, Sergeant Robert McCallum.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Hello. Nope, I don't need it. So we're good. Everybody hear me? Yeah. Deal. Cool. Hey, so I'm Sergeant McCallum. I'm the Air Force recruiter here for Cleveland. Cover all the way up to Sell Creek, Spring City area, down into Georgia. Been here about 3.5 years, and I've actually been in the Air Force for 13.5 years. Spent the first 10.5 years as a firefighter. Then I got called to become a recruiter, and that's what I've been doing, like I said, for the last 3.5 years. Tell you a little bit about the Air Force, and then I'll talk about the Space Force as well. So the Air Force is made up of 4 components. You got active duty, you got reserve, you got guard, and then you have the civilians, right? About 328,000 people make up the Air Force, so not huge. But the mission for the Air Force is to fly, fight, win, right? Sergeant Camp alluded to the anthill. So they build the anthill, we turn it into a Ritz-Carlton, and we occupy it, right? But no, jokes aside, every branch has its piece to the puzzle, to the fight. The newest piece is the Space Force. Show of hands, who's heard of the Space Force? All right, of those hands, who thinks it's real? Yeah, okay. It is real. It came about a few years ago. It's about 16,000 strong right now. It's only made up of about 13 career fields. It's got your intelligence jobs, your cybersecurity, stuff like that. So 16,000. Not sure about the end game, but that's kind of where it's at right now. Everybody wonders what's the Space Force mission, right? The Space Force mission is to organize, train, and equip space forces in order to protect the U.S. and allied interests in space and to provide space capabilities to joint force, right? So we've got land, we've got air, we've got sea. What's the last component? You got space, and we want to dominate that too. I was asked by Ms. Walker, how can civilians like yourself help support military individuals? There are plenty of organizations out there that you can even Google real quick, whatever. We spoke a little bit about it. It's care packages, right? So when individuals are downrange, unless their family members, loved ones, spouses, kids send them something, they don't really get anything unless these organizations like Friends of the Troops, some other ones that I know of, They actually organize these care packages, and it's exactly what you think of it. It's goodies, beef jerky, stuff like that. You won't believe what that means when you're downrange to actually get that, but it can come from anybody, right? And look in your local community. People do it all over. You can donate to it. You can actually go help organize the boxes, but that alone is really an easy way to support your troops, either downrange, at home, wherever. I appreciate it. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
At this time, we'd like to invite our Army National Guard representative, Sergeant Marilyn Gerhardt.
Okay, no problem. I'll try to be as loud as I can. Hi, I'm Sergeant First Class Marilyn Gerhardt, and I'm here representing the Tennessee Army National Guard. The Army National Guard dates all the way back to 1636, where people volunteered to defend their territories. We actually serve just 1 week in a month and 2 weeks out of the summer here locally. Our primary mission is to protect our community against natural disasters and other stateside emergencies. We are known as citizen soldiers. Mr. Bivens joined the Tennessee Army National Guard out of high school. His first job in the Guard was a gunner on an M113 armored personnel carrier. He then went to basic training at Fort Knox, Kentucky. During his enlistment, he trained at 6 different Army bases in the United States. While serving at Fort Hood, Texas, he deployed with the Border Patrol on the Texas-Mexico border. He is a graduate of the Primary Leadership Development School as well as Airborne School. He also completed expert combat infantry training. Thank you for your service, Mr. Bivens.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry that we didn't have the mic working, but we've got it now. We also invited a Navy representative, but they were not able to make it today, but we do want to acknowledge also the branch of the Navy and how important they are in the list of service members today. And Mrs. Sergeant Gerhardt did start with some teacher recognitions, and so we do have veteran teachers here that teach you every day, and we want to recognize them at this time. And so we have already recognized Mr. Bivens. If you can kind of put your hand up there, Mr. Bivens. Thank you so much for your service. And who is our representative for Mr. Morris? Would you like to come to the podium?
All right. So I got Mr. Alan Morris. Met him on many occasions. Is he joining us live? Do you know? Live. If you're out there, hello, Mr. Morris. I know he's not feeling well. Mr. Morris served in the United States Air Force. He was stationed in Athens, Greece for about 2.5 years. He's also traveled a lot around the world. Mr. Morris explained that choosing the United States Air Force was one of the best decisions that he's ever made. During his service, he received some of the best training in the world, and that training has provided him with the career opportunities and solid foundation for his future. He's so proud to have served his country, and we thank you, Mr. Morris.
We would now like to honor Mr. Hood.
Mr. Hood served 2 years in active duty with the United States Army through the 27th Finance Company. He then served 6 years in the Tennessee Army National Guard as a cavalry scout.
Mr. Hood, wave your arms so everybody knows. And last but not least, we would like to honor Mr. Saka.
Mr. Matthew Saka served in the United States Navy as a nuclear-trained electronic technician from 1987 to 1993. After 2 years of specialized training to operate Navy nuclear power plants, he served on the USS Bainbridge guided missile cruiser and the aircraft carrier USS Enterprise. He has been to 6 of 7 continents and every major ocean in the world. He has crossed the equator twice, transit the Panama Canal and Suez Canal, and been in the Antarctic Circle. Mr. Saka said he will be forever grateful for all that the Navy taught him and the chances it gave him to make something more of his life than he ever thought possible.
Mr. Saka, be sure you wave your hand back there so we all know who they were talking about.
I just want to say thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. As an Army brat, this is very special to me because I've had the privilege to be raised by a true hero and had the exposure to be around so many different people, and it's just been such a blessing in my life, and I just want to say thank you so much. I love you, Mom. I love you. Thank you, guys. Also, thank you guys who participated in Operation Gratitude. I received a letter yesterday from them saying thank you. They received our letters. They will send us a certificate out. So thank you for that. We're going to try to grow this program even more. If there's any clubs or any groups that want to work with me to get some care packages together to send to our servicemen and women, that would be great. Because we want to continue to do more and grow this service. So thank you again for coming out. Happy Veterans Day.
Y'all can go. She can breathe now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.